All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Brew by Beyond Charts. All right, wow, what a great day to start the day yesterday. Wow. Tesla, baby. It's a great way to start, great way to start the first trading day of the year. Hope you guys caught that wave, and I think it's going to keep on going. So if you did catch it, let me know in the comments that you caught it. And, so a lot to cover here. Good morning. All right, so let's get to it. So I was kind of covering here, just kind of looking at the charts here. So let's find out what's really going down here. Let me see. All right. So, and I got the books for you, so hang out to the last minute. And we're going to find out what's going down with, and I'll tell you the books that you have to read to improve your trading. Now, all right, so on the Barron's front, futures are up. Futures are up, guys. Futures are up. Wow. So here's the thing. We have to be the contrarians, right? So we have to be the contrarians. What is really going down with these markets, right? So we got to watch that 48.08 level. Powell is speaking tomorrow, or not Powell, the minutes are coming out tomorrow, and there's no fear in the markets, right? So, and I'm going to dive into it, how we have to kind of translate these things. Now, when you look at YouTube and you look at all across the board and you look at the news media, sometimes you have to look at the contrarian and find out what's the opposite side of that trade. And let me go into here so I can show you this. Are we sharing this? No. Let me share here something for you guys. All right, share. Let me share. All right, screen 2. All right, there we go. All right, so you have to be the contrarian here. So the futures are up here. We're at 48.03 right now. It looks like we're going to probably open up right above that 48.08. Are we going to hold? Now, we could go up. We could go up on this news here. Now, here's the deal. The one thing that I have noticed is that I think that the market is absorbing this Fed rate hike. So they haven't done it yet. And the Fed is still buying. So they're still buying. So the tapering has not really come into effect yet. Okay, so we're getting mixed reviews here. So again, what I have noticed yesterday with the price action is that there's a few stocks that are going up, and there's some that really haven't really popped. But again, remember that with the earnings seasons, we start off with the banks. The banks are going to start off, leading the charge. I think Goldman Sachs rocketed. So we're going to be looking at a few things, but let's dive in here. All right, so overall, we're going to be looking at the overall markets here. So we're looking at the XPX, the NDX, and the Russell. We're going to check the temperature here just for a second. So basically, so right here. So as far as volume, now you can tell as far as volume did pick up. Now today, the full global market is open. Remember, people are back. So they're going to be back to trading globally, and we're going to see how this pans out. But right now, futures are up. We're going to be watching that 48.08. We're going to open right at that level up there, probably in that range. Now, the key question is, are we going to hold? All right, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Are we going to hold? Goldman Sachs is going, guys. So, and that's probably going to be the trade they're going to be looking at going into earnings. So we're going to keep that in mind. All right, so the MACDs are midstream. They can still go higher. Now, how high can we go? There's a number up here, 48, 20, 21, right in there, that we're going to see if it goes. Now, this is, guys, we're pretty far up right now. This is a flag pattern right here, if you want to classify that. But I also call this an exhaustion buy, right? So what I mean by that is that we're probably going to go higher. Can we hold those levels? So again, just if you're going to trade it, is it good to a trade? But again, is it going to hold? And just be careful. Just be careful. Now, as far as the NASDAQ is robust as well. It probably looks like it wants to take out that 16,000. If I go back to Barron's here, where's the NASDAQ at? 16.5. So 16.5. We're going to be opening up right in here. So it's still right below those headwinds of 16.6. All right, Russell's trying to go now with if interest rates are going to be raised, which I think that the market's kind of saying, all right, let's possibly, that could be a possibility. And is it going to really affect us? So here's a kind of a just outside thinking, right? So there's a lot of liquidity out there. The Fed, basically what I came across was this, right? This is just my opinion, but think about this for a second. There's a lot of liquidity out there, right? They're going to raise interest rates because inflation is pretty hot right now. Clearly, that's not even a debate, right? But so they need to raise interest rates to bring back money in. So at the same time, I think Congress is locked up right now, right? Congress is not going to print money. I mean, they want to print a lot more money, but I think that's the worst thing they do. If they print any more money, you're just going to skyrocket inflation. And I think that Congress is locked up, at least to midterms, right? So I think that the market's kind of looking at that and going, well, all right, cool. Those guys are not going to F it up, right? In the markets. They're not going to F up the market. So right now, we know that there is liquidity out there at this moment. So we go higher. Right now, on Friday, we have the job reports coming out. On Friday's a big day because I think if those job numbers become low, then that's going to signal to the market that we're probably not going to go lower. I mean, as far as raising interest rates, they're not going to raise interest rates if the job report's low, right? That means that nobody's making any money. Now, if the job reports are high, then that's probably going to signal to the market they're going to raise interest rates a little faster because now the economy can absorb that because people are going back to work. So just food for thought, things I'm thinking outside the box. I think the markets are taking those into consideration, and that's where we're going higher. All right, so that's the opposite end of what I'm thinking, and that's again contrarian thinking of what the doom and gloom that's out there. Remember, we trade the movers. I don't really care about opinions. We trade, and right now the market's going higher. Maybe that's the reason why. Okay, so let's dig in. So, all right, so here's the move. If the Russell takes out that 2284, breaks zero, it's going to go higher, guys. It's going to go higher. RUT, IWM. Remember, banks are going to start earnings in about 3-4 weeks, and they told us last year they're doing aggressive buybacks. Okay, aggressive buybacks. So they're going to be probably buying back their own stock. Now, as far as the moves higher, just real simple term, right? So if you look at the 50 as a barometer, let's just take a note. So from here to here on the Russell is 145 points. In theory, if it goes in the opposite direction, it can probably go, 145 points from the 50, right? So 145 points to there. Where can it go? So 145 puts me at, right there, 2433. Can it hit that? I think it could. Right? I think it could. But again, we need to break a few headwinds here. Now, as far as the, if you're you're like, Angel, there's a flag pattern. Yes, there is a flag pattern here. And we measure the flag pattern, it bounce right here to there. If it breaks out, it can go the same length. But again, when I'm looking at this, that could be also the exhaustion buy. And again, it's probably going to give this a little bit more headwind. And if what I just told you about the market, if the market's taking my opinion as far as like, that Congress is not going to do anything, then that's probably going to go higher, right? That's the reason why I'm seeing these markets like just skyrocket at this moment. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, as far as the VIX, let's look at the VIX. The VIX there's no fear in this marketplace at all, right? So again, and a great way to measure this, we're going to be looking on Monday. So this is Monday. Monday's going to set the tone for the week, and we're going to look at last week. So we popped over a little bit of, last Fridays, but again, nothing, we really quickly came back down. So key levels to watch, see if we can break above that 50. But again, 1861 for the week so far, right? If we break above that, then we know that fear is coming back in. If we break above this 1946, a lot of fears come in retrospect to last week. Okay, so remember, we're going in accordance to last week. Now, if we start breaking lower here, we start going below this 16 area, then that means we're probably going higher, guys. Or if we stay in this area, we're going to go higher. I mean, that's pretty easy. Now, the one thing I am noticing here is this thing here, okay? This is alarming, a little bit. And, you got to be careful here, right? Because we start breaking above this higher. And I think that's probably why we don't see, a lot of the tech rally as much as they should be. So I haven't noticed like, Google really didn't go. The NVIDIA really didn't go. So again, and I think it has to do with the treasury notes going a little bit higher. But I think that's probably a signal of possibly a rate hike coming up, and everybody knows that's not a surprise. So again, watch that above that and watch the tech, and because there are, they're picking a few Not all of them. Now, all right, as far as the XPX, what are we looking at the XPX? The XPX is right here, guys. So again, we're breaking at 48.08. We had a nice bounce, right? Remember yesterday I said, hey guys, this can go either way. Right now, textbook, right? Bouncing off the 50. MACDs, if this starts going on the hourlies and it looks like it's probably going to go, it's going to run, right? It's probably going to run. How high is it going to go? I don't know, but it's going to run. That is a valid entry, and that's a new fresh start of a momentum swing on an hourly basis. Okay, so again, watch that. If this starts turning, if this starts going the other way, then there's no strength in that. But right now, it looks like it's going to open. That is an entry if you're looking to trade on an hourly basis. So watch that SPY or SPX. The 15-minute time frame, you had the entry yesterday right there, broke through. It's still going. Looks like we're going to open up higher. It's going to go. Not really an entry on the 15-minute time frame. Let it pull back to the 50-day moving average, and maybe that you can get better pricing there. On the 1 minute, we don't really look at the 1 minute, but that's what we're looking at as far as XPX. All right, so let's see. All right, so what are we going to cover? So we got that out of the way. Let's look at, I'm going to go over here. Looks like at Goldman Sachs. I'm actually going to look at the NDX because the NDX is something that also, let me see here, NDX. Okay, so the NDX, is that right? No, that's not right. NDQ, why am I looking at the 1 day? All right. That gap up? That's not right. Okay, that's not right. Let me look it over here. Okay, so right now we're looking at the XPX. XPX, we already covered this already, still working his way higher. You had a nice fresher momentum swing yesterday, right? Broke the 50, fresh to the MACDs. Now, those MACDs weren't right at zero, but hey, close enough. It's telling that new swing came back up and is working up to the highs of the days before. So right there is probably going to work up a little higher. So we have something there. Let it pull back. All right. The NASDAQ, let me see how I can get it here. Because for some reason it's not coming up over on that one. Okay, here we go. So here's the NASDAQ on the dailies, right? So on the NASDAQ, you have the same type of thing. You have a flag pattern right here coming through, and it can probably run. It looks like it wants to run. First to the MACDs, we're mid-swing. Again, the headwinds you're going to be looking at the NASDAQ, number one, you're going to be looking at right there at that 16,610. And then there's a major headwind right there at 16,766. Okay, so right now, but this isn't as robust as the XPX, so we're going to be looking at that. We're looking at the 1 hour charts. All right, so let's look here. So on the 1 hour charts, again, you have fresh of the MACDs yesterday breaking through. Watch those headwinds, because if it take out those headwinds, it's going to run or it's going to sell off. So watch it right there. Again, on the 15-minute time frame, we're just looking, entry was yesterday, let it run. It looks like it probably is going to closer to the end on the 15-minute front time frame. It'll probably present another entry for us to get in if you want to trade the NASDAQ or the QQQs. Russell looks like it wants to take another crack at that upstairs. So again, watch the Russell 2283. It can probably start running. If it takes out that 2283, it's going to go, guys. It's going to go. It's going to go. And I think with Goldman Sachs, and again, we have that, it's right there, 2283, and I think it wants to run. Now, on the NASDAQ, remember, on the Russell, we have to look at this level right here, which it coincides with that 50-day, which is right around that 2285. It broke the 200-day. If it can take out this, those MACDs break through, then it's probably going to run. Okay, so we have that set up. All right, so, and again, guys, only pick 1, 2, 3. Remember, to be profitable, you only need 1, because remember, 2, because you also have to manage that position. Google looks like it wants to run. Fresh set of MACDs early. If Google can take out that 2917, it's probably going to go. And I'm going to show you that on this time frame, because I like that one as well. And Google can move. Google can move. I said Google is probably going to hold that 50-day moving average. Pre-market, we're at 2909, which puts me right at that 50. So if we can get above on the hourlies, right above it, we can start breaking, get above that 50, start breaking through, then it's probably going to run. Now, in the 50-day, 15-minute time frame, again, let it take out 29.17, 29.12. It looks like it's probably going to run. Okay, so you have that right there. If the markets are robust and people and there's follow through. Okay, we have that. Amazon right there as well. Look at Amazon. Amazon is right there. Now look at Amazon. You don't want to get into it, but it could be setting up. If the MACDs come back to zero, bouncing off the 50, that's another one that you can probably look at, right? Now Tesla, this thing is running. It's running. It's pulling back. I want to look at Tesla from multiple time frames here because, again, this is the one that, I don't know if you guys got in. I definitely got in on this one just because it looked ready, right? It just looked ready. And here's the reasoning behind this thing, right? Yeah, strong deliveries. Tesla's more than just a car company. I put this on my Instagram maybe a couple of years ago, and it was a debate, and it was cute, right? And a lot of people think that it was a car company. It's not. It's more than a car company, right? I mean, the amount of data that they're collecting on us is ridiculous. They're collecting so much data. And then what are they doing with that data? They know more, right? So at the end of the batteries, and again, just look at the company profile. There's so many things going for them that he's doing right. So Tesla sold off right here, basically based on the fact that he sold off 10% of his holding to pay taxes. Okay, and then we know Cathie Wood sold off here, and they did an amazing job selling that amount and coming back up. Now, what we have here, we have a flag pattern, right? So that's a flag pattern if you trade flags, and if you measure that, and again, if you measure this flag pattern, right? If you measure that, that's 232 points. If I take it from the wick. If I want to be a little bit more conservative, then I'm going to take it from the body, right? And I will do it from the body, and that's about 191 points. So let's go with the 191, right? And the breakout happened right here at the 50 to 191. That puts me there at 1246, which is the high of year. So again, guys, I think that this one has to run. The volume, look at the volume today. I mean, just tremendous amount of volume, a lot of buying power. Again, as far as getting in on the hourly basis, this was a breakout. Again, on the morning, you saw this thing was going to run, is running. On the hourlies, we got the MACDs pulling back a little bit. Now, what is it going to do? Is it going to be like a pullback which just holds here, waits to the 50, or does it pull back a little bit and then run? And then the 50, or does it pull back down? All right. So, and where is it going to meet? And I think that's going to present another entry. On the 15-minute time frame, a different story, right? So look at the 15. If this thing starts bouncing up, bouncing off the 50, takes out the headwinds of 1209, is probably going to run today. Okay, so watch that, and that's going to give you a clue on what the hourly looks like if it's going to run. So 1209, 1210 needs to be taken out, and it will run today. All right, so you have that. And again, I gave you those targets on Tesla. What else do we have? We have ISRG. ISRG, again, working his way lower. It's setting up here, right? So watch it. Medical sales. This thing was at the highs, 370. We talked about that. And if this thing starts turning, again, let it bounce. If it can take out that 360, it's probably going to go back to the highs of 370. And it could break out. Okay, remember, if they're doing the opposite, remember, this company does produce money. They do produce, it's a medical sales, heart equipment. So these guys can do well, and they're picking the ones that actually make money. So they're probably going to put their money in that one. CMG sold off yesterday. So again, let it sell off, let them take it down. I do like CMG for earnings. Earnings is in the beginning of February. So let it drop. Okay, so now we got those covered. Now I really want to get into we want to get into Lam Research. Lam Research is just holding steady. This is a chip movement. Okay, so I think this one is just holding steady, not really selling off, not really doing anything. But the one that's going is Goldman Sachs, guys. So we got to watch Goldman early because Goldman does announce earnings, and I think they announce earnings. When is earnings here on Goldman? Let me see if I can find it here. Income statement, no, but we can find it here. Let me go to Goldman here and see when the earnings report is. And I think it's, oh, right here. So Goldman announces earnings January 18th, which is roughly about 2 weeks away. Again, watch Goldman. These guys are doing aggressive buybacks. Would you like the company or not? If it can take out, and it looks like it's about to take out the 50, 400, it's opening at 400. We got a fresh set of MACDs. This thing could pop, and where is it going to pop? And then maybe they're going to run this into earnings, which is only right there. So they start running this thing into earnings. That might be a potential pre-earnings play. Watch it, because we got a fresh set of MACDs if you want to play the banks. Now, how does this look like on the hourlies? Let's take a look. On the hourlies, you can tell that, you know, again, you had an entry yesterday right there, bouncing off the 50, fresh set of MACDs, and it ran, right? Again, it's going to take out these headwinds right here. It's close to the headwinds of 402. Give it 1 point. Give it 403. If it takes that out, guys, then it's probably going to run. So let's say 403. If that gets taken, this thing is going to run into earnings. So watch it. It's going to have a second wind. It's not ideal where we like it. So if you feel comfortable with that, I probably wouldn't, you know, trade maybe less than we normally trade, but that can probably run and you can nibble a little bit, or is going to pull back. So on the hourlies. Now, as far as the 50-minute time frame, what are we looking at? Again, just bouncing right there. Not really the ideal entry that we like. So again, on the 50-minute time frame, don't like it. Not the ideal entry on a 15-minute time frame, but it looks like it's probably going to swing a little bit higher. How high is it going to go if it takes that 403 out, or is it going to hold? Again, 403. It's got some headwinds at that 425. Maybe 420, maybe somewhere in there. But all right, so we're looking at Goldman. All right, Netflix not doing anything. Watch that 610 just in case they try to take this one up. Roku trying to run. Watch it at 238. 238. NVIDIA. Okay, so this was trying to go. It didn't go, guys. So let me talk to you about NVIDIA, because I talked about this one that has a potential that had to go. It needed to react early, and it did. It reacted early. Now, here's the thing about watching the option premiums is because if you watch some out-of-the-money calls, or, you know, always look at the out-of-money calls, because if a stock is moving, here's a hint. If the stock is moving, then more than likely you're going to be watching those out of the money calls, right? So if the stock moved, you know, let's say $3, $4, $5, whatever is moved, those out of the money calls should move up as well, right? At least I'm talking about like 20 points out of the money. If they don't move, then that's giving you a signal that possibly he doesn't believe that that is not going to go up, or does not literally does. You know, remember, when a stock moves up, people are what, excited to be buying stuff, right? They're excited. There's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of volume coming in for those call options. But if that doesn't exist, that excitement isn't there, then more than likely that's giving you a clue that those pricing isn't going up. So more than likely, the market maker doesn't think it's going up. That's the reason why he's not increasing those prices. So that's going to be a clue that it's not going to go. So is it going to go today? Possibly. Now, the MACDs are rolling down, right? If it bounces above zero, bounces, and takes out that high of yesterday of 307, and you see those out of the money calls, and roughly on 307, looking at the 320s, you know, if those start going up in value, then more likely it's going to run. And remember, 313 is pretty hard on NVIDIA. Now, Mercado Libre, just holding steady. Remember, this thing ran up pretty nicely. Let it just chill, wait for the next setup. Again, 1360 on the high side, see how far it goes, and let it set up. All right, Apple, going, right? Beautiful setup yesterday. This was a darling yesterday, right? Look at this one. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup. If you follow the trading system we do, off the 50, fresh out of MACDs, and it's gone. Now, let me give you a little insight on Apple, and I'm going to spend some time here with you guys, because you guys go, all right, let's do Apple, and I can do it on Tesla as well. Okay, I'm doing it on Tesla as well, but here it is. All right, so we're going to do Apple right now, and on Apple. So, you know, is this on? Okay, so we got the 50-minute time frame. We had a nice entry. Was it yesterday? Was it 15? Is this? Am I getting it right? Let me see. Yeah, that was yesterday. Okay, so this is Apple. Okay, so this is Apple. So this was the entry yesterday right here. Bounce up to 50 right there, fresh to the MACDs. So ideally, when you're looking at this, you're going, okay, it's going up. What are the MACDs doing? Well, there's a fresh set of MACDs. Then it's breaking the previous day high. It's going up, and it ran, right? It ran. Okay. So when we look at it here, here's a flag pattern, right? And again, we're seeing these flag patterns pop up all over the place, right? So here's a flag pattern. Here's the entry. Now, if you wanted to lock in gains, you could. You could say, all right, I made money here at 177 to 183. You know, what do you do? Because anything can happen, right? So maybe you want to lock in your gains and, you know, whatever you made on this play. And maybe you want to, whatever it is, money management. And then, let's say you sold off, right? Or maybe, let's say you sold off. They sold off and now you take 20, 30% of your holdings because you know that this is going to run, right? This is going to run. It has room to run, but anything can happen. We're at the highs there, right? So now you wait for the next setup. Okay, so the day's over and here's the next setup, right? And now you take 20 or 30% of what you made on that first trade and you add another layer here. If this starts turning, and that starts turning, then it's going to run again. And it's going to continue on. It has a day 2. And now you trade that. And so on and so on and so on. And that's how you can trade and trade profitably. Just food for thought. And that's just a way that I like to trade. So anyway, just want to share that with you guys. And that's how you can continue to lock in profits. If that works for you, that's great. Or maybe you just want to hold on to it. There's multiple ways of doing it, you know, but that's the way I like to trade. Now, Trade Desk needs 93. Let's look at coin. Shopify. Now, Shopify had like about 3 upgrades at 1,500 and it hasn't run. So again, sold off. Watch Shopify. At some moment, are those $1,500 upgrades going to come to effect? $13.95 to get it better. Watch it. Or $13.32 on the bottom side. It's right at that 50, so you can go either way. We'll look at the MACDs for a clear sense of direction. Affirm. Don't like it. It's going down. I think this stock should be at 70, but again, people try to rally up. Watch it right here. It can probably look, it can go lower. So again, watch it right there. Maybe a break right there. It looks like it probably wants to go lower. Look for the MACDs. Upstart, same type of thing. Looks like it wants to go lower. Nice entry to the downside if this turns. HubSpot, again, just sold off yesterday. Nice entry here. Let it come back. No need to chase it here. Zoom, again, just kind of having a hard time. 185 to get it better. If this starts turning up, 185, it can go higher. If it starts going lower, it's going to go to 177. Bookings took off yesterday. Another entry right there. Bounce off the MACDs, bounce off the 50, and boom. Now, this one does move, guys. So if you want to trade a mover, this one moves 2406 to 2470, 60. That's about a 50, 60 point ripper. That's why he's on the screen. ServiceNow working his way lower, needs 652 to get it better. Coinbase coming back to life. Let's see if it has some legs. Fresh to the MACDs right here. Pre-market looking good. 252, 254. If it can take out that 257, 258, it probably can run. All right, let's look at the chips. Chips working his way lower with the exception of Qualcomm. Qualcomm pre-action looks pretty good. They're taking Qualcomm up. Okay, let's see if the MACDs can turn here. ASML holding steady. I do like this still for pre-market. Remember, they announced, pre-earnings. They announced earnings on the 21st. AMD looks like it's probably going to run. Let the MACDs turn, and if it bounces, that can run today. AMAT looking, let's see what happens when it pulls back at that 50. Not ideal, but if it bounces, breaks that, 160 could run. Broadcom or Avgo, let's see what that happens now at 1671. Probably holding steady. Now I did add MU. I didn't put Rivian on here. MU because it's a chip. But let's see if MU can start bouncing here and breaking through. Look for 96 to break. Is right around that $100 area. Roblox going lower. So we know that Nancy Pelosi bought a lot of calls in this thing. But again, just working his way lower. So I guess at this moment, not really working out. Watch it. Could probably run if it breaks 100. Maybe go up to that 105 or maybe go down to 97. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin, I don't day trade Bitcoin, but we're looking at for a proper setup here. So now here's the thing with Bitcoin. And this was presented to me by a friend of mine, and he said, "Look, it's not obviously it's not a it's not a hedge against inflation, right? Because if it was, then this thing wouldn't be down. I mean, clearly it's not that. But what it stands for, he put it to me very profoundly. He said, it's innovation, right? It's an innovation of the monetary system, is innovation of new concept. And that made sense to me with the blockchain and so forth, transparency. And so when I look at it from that point of view, and that's why people are buying it, people are loading it up putting it on their books. So again, watch right here. It's kind of holding steady. We're in its holding pattern right here. Again, we're right above that demand level. Still below the 200-day moving average. The 50 days coming upon us pretty shortly. Something big is about to happen. Watch the MACDs, and this is a perfect example of why you watch the MACDs. That's going to tell you which way we're going to go. If it starts running up, then remember, the MACDs are going to tell you that people are buying it. Now, the one thing I did notice is this. Now, I put an anchored VWAP here. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically... it's just anchored weighted. It's like a moving average, right? But it doesn't just take the moving average into effect. It also takes the amount of volume traded all throughout this time period, right? So I got this time period up from this point of view, and it gives me not just not the price, not just price, but how much volume traded each day. So it's a measurement of that. And what I'm noticing, now the 50-day just takes price action, right? It's just the price, right? The average of price of these last, so if we look at price from the same time I put the anchor VWAP, you can tell that, the volume on price is going, not volume, but the price is going lower. Now the volume on the anchored VWAP, now we added, and this thing is the anchored VWAP right here, and I'm going to highlight that. That is also has included the volume traded within this time period. So as you can tell, this is going up. So if that's any indication, I look at that as a little bit of a divergence, and there's a reason why this demand level is holding. And I believe if this is accurate, then this MACD is going to go higher, and we're probably going to go up to these levels up here and watch the 50-day. That's my assumption, and based on that, and it's all based on the anchored VWAP, okay? So now, as you can tell, MicroStrategy working his way higher, right? So again, if I am correct on that one, then the MicroStrategy is working its way higher. Again, if it can take out 576 and this starts working higher, this is going to run, and that's something you can look at and maybe for a possible trade. Okay. Again, I don't have an accurate VWAP on Ethereum, but I imagine it's probably the same thing. Is holding that demand level, and it's just probably coming to the end. Now the MACDs are turning. Let's see how high it can go. Needs that 50-day moving average at 4,000. Let's see what happens there. Okay, that's all we have. Let me see if I have any questions. All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. All right, so anything else here? Do you want me to cover here? Any stocks you're looking at? Now, I wanted to look at Rivian because I know I took it off the things, and a lot of people like the stock. Let's look at Rivian to see where it's at. Rivian, again, just holding steady. This is the daily on Rivian. We saw some buyers coming at $87. Again, see if it can take out that 107, probably go work hard. MACDs look good. It probably looks like it wants to go run up. Maybe run up to that 123. On the hourlies, just right there, kind of doing nothing. 15 minutes, just doing nothing. All right, let's look at what was Rivian, and then it was Lucid. Let's look at Lucid. Lucid ran up a little bit yesterday. On Lucid, okay, so nice basing pattern on Lucid at $36. If you can take out that 42, MACDs are turning, so it looks like it's coming to the end. This can turn, break above zero, take out that 42, then Lucid probably can start running maybe a little higher. This might be an entry for Lucid, but watch it at that 42, and that might be a good entry if you're looking at Lucid. All right, guys, what time is it? It is 9:05. Okay, so we didn't go too bad. All right, guys, so today I'm going to be covering, this broadcast on TradingView at 12 o'clock. Remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have that going on. And also, I promised, I said, hey, guys, you know what? The 5 books that I think that you should read. Thank you, Doc Holliday. Good morning. I'm going to say good morning to him because he's my reader. I love that because, the 5 books I think you should read is right here. So if you go to my YouTube account, let me see if I can, where was it? I just put it on here. Okay. So go to my post. Oh, thank you guys for giving so much. Thank you for buying me coffee. Here are my posts. I put it here. Okay. Must read books to improve your trading. You guys can click on that. And right here. So these are the top 5 books that I think, and they're 4 books, but I'll get into that. So number 1, there's Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. Obviously, I read that once a year. It's a great book. It's not about strategy. It's about mindset, right? It's all about mindset. I think that's the number 1 book. I read it once a year. I'm currently reading it right now. It's an amazing book. The second book is by Nicholas Doris, How I Made $2 million in the Stock Market. And that's, again, mindset. And it's just like an everyday person who basically, retail investor who just observed the markets and noticed, just by observation, the power of observation, and made it work for him. Now, here's the book that I love. This book. You can't get it. It's really difficult. And when I lived in Chicago, I actually met the owner. It's by Trader X. I met the actual writer. Now, all these books are right here. If you press on this link, it's going to come up here, and they're all on Amazon for you. Don't worry, I'm not affiliate or anything. I'm not getting 0 commission on this, but I just made it so you guys can have easier access. Dancing with Lions, One Man Odyssey. Again, it's all about mindset, and it's about the futures market, but you can adapt to any market. Great book. It's only $2 used. Limited supply. I have mine. I kept it. It's amazing. So again, now the other 2 books I said there again. Again. So if you guys watched that movie with Eddie Murphy about the dollar bet, I forget what it was called. If you know that movie that I'm talking about, that they made $1, and I think pretty much it was a funny movie, but it was about nurture versus nature. And basically, they talked about can somebody be successful, and they bet at $1. I forget the Trading Places. I think that it was called. So that actually came from it was a life story, and it came from here. The Way of the Turtle, the Complete Turtle Trader. These guys were called turtle traders, and basically 2 amazing traders in Chicago. One from the South Side, one from Ivy League graduate from the North Side, and they were partners, obviously. And they said, can we teach people how to trade? And they bet $1. So that's where that came from. And they took 20 normal people in the 80s, I believe, or 70s, and they basically showed them 2 key things. It was basically market psychology and money management. Once they learned that, and they gave them $1 million to start. Anyway, the results were remarkable. They turned a very small fortune to a big fortune, I think like $500 million or so. Great mindset. And it talks about, pretty much that experiment. Great, and the insights on that. So again, these were actually the turtle traders, and there was 20 of them, and this is them. This is their. So if you like that stuff, I think it's all about mindset. And again, the other one that I put there just for if you like Jesse Livermore, Jesse Livermore was a guy who was Reminiscence of a Stock Operator was based out of, right? He actually wrote a book, right? He actually wrote his own book, and it's right here, How to Trade in Stock. So those are going to be the books that I think that will help you improve your trading tremendously. I know it definitely has helped mine. Yeah, those are, and here's the thing. I'm going to put the link to this. Let me see if I can put the link. I put it on the post there so everybody can have access to it. I'll put the link on the chat so you guys can do it. But yeah, definitely, go out there, go get it. All right, guys, it is now 9:10. Thank you guys for Trading Place. Thank you guys for tuning in. So I'm gonna get ready with some calls right now and see what's happening here. Let me see what the futures are at. Oh, I got locked out of my Thinkorswim account, but it looks pretty good so far. So looking to add a couple more on my Tesla calls and let's see what's going down. All right, guys, go out there, go get it. And again, just pick 1, 2. You don't have to pick everything, and just manage that position. All right, stay green. All right, let's surf some waves together. I'll see you at lunch or tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye-bye.